Well, hello there, children, and welcome to a brand new installment of FAQ You, here with Uncle Ben and Commander Andy.
Ahoy!
Today I've got Andy Wood here in his palatial home studio. We're going to be answering the questions that you guys have had burning in your hearts and loins for ages. But before we get into that, let's stop in at Uncle Ben's boombox and see what we've been listening to here recently.
So there's a young Australian gentleman that I've known about for quite a while. He's kind of been on my radar, but like I never really got way into his stuff till recently. His name is Pliny. I don't know if that's a first and last name or if that's like Prince or Madonna.
Singular.
Yeah, singular. Just Pliny.
Just the one name.
Mr. Pliny. Actually, he's got a thing on Spotify. You know how it'll put all the different albums or whatever. The top one right now just says singles on it. So I don't know if it's like a collection of things yet to come out, like an EP or whatever. But I listened to it a lot over the past week. What Pliny does that I like a lot is he gives me a good melodic hook that, like, once I've turned the music off and if I'm washing my car or like going and running errands, there's something in his hooks that like stay with me. Where I feel like a lot of modern progressive music is so sporadic and there's like 37 riffs in a song and all of the riffs could be in the next song and I can't remember what goes where.
I know exactly what you mean.
And Pliny doesn't do any of that.
Yeah. You know, Andy, I found myself stepdadding really hard the other day and being on my roof cleaning my gutters out.
I like that. That's what we do in the South.
Yeah, that's Saturday right there.
Yeah.
And I found myself trying to find some good gutter cleaning music, so I went on Spotify and I found Andy Timmons' record from 2017 here called Theme from Perfect World. And it is damn fantastic, fabulous music.
Yeah.
You listen to that, haven't you?
It's one of my favorite instrumental records of probably the past 20 years.
Yeah, I totally agree. I kind of feel like it's on that same level of quality as like The Extremist.
Oh, it's
it's and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Avi Musicom.
Yeah, it's like totally an Avi Musicom.
But you know, Andy, in addition to Andy Timmons and Pliny, I've also been listening to a very fine live record featuring an extremely handsome rhythm guitar player and a scalding hot lead guitarist. It's Andy Wood live at the Bijou.
Can we put that in like flashing on the screen right now?
So this is Andy's new live record that came out last month. You can find it on iTunes and iTunes Movie.
It's on Amazon and Amazon Primes.
Get it everywhere.
Yeah. And I think around the middle of December it hits the Google Play for all you Samsung and Galaxy users.
You guys. Weirdos. Well, you can still get it either way. It's a fantastic live album full of a gigantic variety of tunes. There's some instrumental shred stuff. There's some great vocal tunes and ballads, even some bluegrass and stuff on there. Andy on lead guitar, I'm playing rhythm guitar on it, and there's a host of other incredible freak musicians on stage, like Andy Campbell on drums and Travis Toy playing steel. It is a diverse and really entertaining listening experience, so I highly recommend you find folks, go and purchase it. Andy Wood, live at the Beach. So the first question we'll answer here today comes from AX Pena and a bunch of other people. Kind of ties in with another question that Full Circle had. Asked, how did we meet? And also, are we veterans of the Harmony Central AMP Forum? So answer to this actually goes back several years, because you and I have worked together musically. I've played in your band, and we've played in various bands for probably like 3 years or so now.
Maybe right at 3.
Yeah. But before that, we were both kind of veterans of the Knoxville music scene, playing in various outfits and cover bands and that sort of thing. And we had like a million mutual friends.
Original band did a show together.
That's when you were playing with Down From Up, and I was playing with, I had like an instrumental rock band called Art. Yeah. And we got together, and it was funny because, like I said, we have all these mutual friends and stuff, and they would always tell me, dude, you need to get together and play with Andy. But we used to post on the Harmony Central Amp Forum, or HCAF as it used to be known. But we would post on these boards. I'd see the stuff that he would post. He'd see the stuff that I would post, and like that's when I started getting into the guitar swirling and stuff like that. So,
and that's when we did a show together, and I saw you playing, you kids
had
might
the green
like this.
one.
Yeah. He was playing one of his bowling ball looking guitars, the swirl deals.
Kid shit.
And I was like, man, that's so cool. There's a guy on Harmony Central that like does those in his backyard, his house or something, you know? And Ben's like, yeah, I'm that guy. So I was like, it was, and then to find out that we live about an hour away from each other, it was like, wow, we should hang out and do stuff. I did Truth and Lie, and that was a pretty layered record for the style of music that I do. Normally I don't make things that layered.
Orchestrated.
And I needed a rhythm guitar player, and that's where it like went from bowling ball guitars to like actually working together and like doing a lot of music. And man, we've played across the country.
So let's get on to a first guitar nerd question here. Jim Miller asks, what technique took you the longest to get down?
Easily legato. I was a picking man from all the years of playing the acoustic guitar and the mandolin. So the first time I saw Steve Vai on a DVD, like lick his finger and then just do one of these, that's impossible.
How's he doing
that's
it?
Not real.
You tried on the mandolin?
I tried on the mandolin. I was like,
nothing.
Not real. He did that. He phoned that in afterwards. And then I realized what was going on.
Yeah.
So one of my biggest moments for breaking my legato problem was hanging out with Tom Quayle. We did a clinic together years ago.
Fabulous guitar player.
Yeah,
UK.
fabulous guy. Like one of my favorite people on the planet.
I don't care what people say about him. I think he's a nice guy.
Yeah. I mean, if it was like that, you know, we would have never left England.
Got away from them redcoats.
We would have never happened. They were all that way. No. No, he's awesome. So we were doing a clinic together years and years ago. You know, he just kind of broke down his thing and just being like, you know, when you're right next to somebody, you can like start assimilating it. And I've had this thing in my mind. If I see somebody do it, I can kind of start absorbing
like
it.
The Terminator.
Yeah, it's like start absorbing it in. So easily that. What about you?
I'm totally the opposite, where the first like big shred guitar player that I really got into is Satriani, who is of course a legatosman. And he does a different kind of legato than Tom. Tom's stuff is very metric.
Yeah. Satch has got that like cool smear.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. Where like when you see the tablatures of the transcriptions.
Oh, it's unreadable.
Yeah, it's just somebody just put bars in.
Just break it up. I don't know.
Yeah,
because there'll be like 9 notes across a beat and then 5 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I always have liked that sound. So considering that was one of the first shred guys I ever got into, the legato thing kind of came easy to me because I just learned Always With Me, Always With You, and Satch Boogie and all these other tunes. It's like, oh, there's the legato thing. Mm-hmm. For me, the picking thing has always been the enemy. I feel like I have spent more hours trying to reinvent my picking and get all the little things that I know I struggle with worked out, like inside picking stuff and things like that, pure cross picking. Yeah. Those are areas that I think I have sunk more time into than anything, and I have to stay on top of it because I feel like it fades extremely fast. Yeah, if I don't stay on top of it, it's brutal.
So I've never asked you this, but I'd like to know, who was the first like picking guy that you really tried to assimilate, and did it help your picking? Because here's the interesting thing is like, when you learn something, it can either set up roadblocks.
Yes. Yeah, very much so.
You know, does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Or it can like be a door unlocking thing.
Yeah.
And I think that was the thing for me was like learning a lot of picking stuff early on. I didn't learn things that were electric guitar picking. I didn't even play the instrument. Yeah. I was learning cross picking and inside picking. Yeah. So when I learned Petrucci stuff, or stuff that's 3 notes per string, I was like, oh, this is the easy picking stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the really challenging. One of the most challenging alternate picking intros is the Church Street Blues, Tony Rice. It's actually pretty ballad. But he's cross picking the whole thing.
Yeah, alternate picking across strings, not sweeping.
Brutally difficult, but it's a really pretty song.
It's musical.
Yeah, and it's not fast either. It's just, but the cross picking in it's really nasty.
See, the first picking guy I got into was Paul Gilbert because I watched like the Intense Rock.
Was it
DVDs,
like
shit
Scarified, like that era, like so
totally.
Bruce Boulay? And,
yeah,
like that thing. Yeah.
Well, and two, like a lot of his stuff is very 3-note per stringy and sequenced, which
very
is stuff
sequenced.
I still rely on to this day when it comes to alternate pick stuff. So then, whenever I started getting into guys like Petrucci, like the Glass Prison intro, where he's alternate picking those 3-note arpeggios
and it's
and
one
stuff.
note per string.
Oh, that's hell on earth for me because my picking stuff was built on sequence threes and stuff like that.
Yeah, so when you sequence stuff, when I said about like setting up barriers and unlocking doors with the alternate picking thing, when you sequence stuff, you're setting it where most of the time a downbeat is in the downstroke, right?
Yeah.
And things happen. You play something an amount of times, and then it sets over, and then it sets over.
Exactly.
So, in the world of fiddle tunes and bluegrass, and the way that I came up, none of that was the case. You're just truly alternate picking.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have one note per string. Sometimes you have two. You could have 3-2-1
Whatever
or 1
gets the
3 2,
song
like
done.
whatever the song is.
Yeah.
So, coming out of that is why my alternate picking
Makes sense.
never like had any like I don't know.
Roadblocks. Andy, this question is for you. It comes from Quentin Pace. He says, Andy, were you worried when you found out Ben was homeschooled?
Quentin, I'll tell you this, it's the public schoolers you got to watch out for.
Hooligans.
And even worse than that, it's the private schoolers. They definitely can't be trusted.
Not those guys.
Might as well be politicians.
I'd say whenever I told you.
I don't know what that means.
I'd say whenever I told you I was homeschooled, you're like, that explains it.
Yeah, that's it.
I knew there's something going on here.
I like how it's a default, like, no matter what goes wrong.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's hey, sorry.
I'll have that the rest of my life. I was homeschooled.
Yeah, sure. Not worried at all. Actually, I've never felt so safe. Don't touch me.
All right, this is a fun one from Heinous Jibs.
What a great name, dude.
There's some good ones on here. If you could listen to one subgenre of rock or metal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Classic.
Like classic rock?
Yes, if you were limiting my life and saying, all right, you only get rock, give me Cream, Eric Clapton, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, like that, like you kids in your extended range guitars.
Crusted black death metal.
Yeah. Is that the guy that fell down the hill?
That's the guy that fell down the hill. So you just go with the classic rock because you're going to get access to a Led Zeppelin, a Van Halen.
I'll just get more stuff.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think that would also be the option that I would choose as well because if you can't live a happy life listening to everything from Rush to Led Zeppelin to AC/DC, hell, even if you're just limited to AC/DC.
Yeah.
If you can't live a happy life there, you suck.
I mean, Beatles.
Yeah.
Like, classic rock that's...
You gonna put them in a classic rock? It's hard not to.
I mean, like, Elvis technically is rock. He's the king of it.
But
as they say.
If that option was already taken because you eliminated it...
Yeah, if you say you can't have the good one, right?
Yeah.
Let's make it more fun.
I think I would probably say just classic instrumental guitar music. Because seriously, stuff like the old Satriani and Vi records and stuff just gets me jonesing as hard as it ever has. I think I could be very happy just listening to instrumental guitar stuff. Plus, I get tired of vocals all the time. So some instrumental guitar stuff is good to me.
Okay. I would take 90s alternative rock, like
damn
Alice in
it.
Chains and Stone Temple Pilots. And here's why. I'll make my own instrumental music.
Yeah.
I don't need to listen to that. I'll make my own notes.
That's a really strong, point.
Borderline genius.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Homeschool. Okay, this next question requires some audio accompaniment. Ian Humphreys asks, do you have a warm-up routine? Do you ever do like a warm-up kind of thing whenever you play?
Yeah, so like the only thing I'll ever do is just kind of set myself up for
Set
something.
myself up.
And I'll just give myself a chord.
Yeah.
And just start trying to play melodically.
So in other words, it's not like an exercise kind of thing.
No, it's more about control.
Just trying to get your ears and mind
trying to get
working.
my ears going. I'm trying to get vibrato speed. Those kind of things. Like, that's really more... It's a lot more about that than...
Dexterity kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my alternate picking's kind of always there when I want it.
That must be nice. But if you're going up before a show, you know you're fixing to jump on stage.
I'd
Your
probably
hands are
play like
cold,
whatever I'm
whatever.
about to do.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
if I was going on stage and I had to play, I'd play like that
That's
line,
what you play.
or play like a, play like whatever's about to happen.
Gotcha.
But in general, if I'm gonna warm up, it's just more about
I'd say for myself, more often than not, it's like, if it's the first time of the day that I've picked up the guitar and I'm trying to get my hands going and stuff like that, I used to do just a lot of the typical, exercisey kind of things. But more often than not now, I like to just put on a backing track and just improvise and play.
right.
Because the thing is, especially early in the morning, when you're still all stiff from sleeping and stuff like this and from being over 30,
And hungover.
more than likely. It's like, rather than putting on a metronome and making my hands try to do a bunch of stuff that they don't want to do or physically can't do that early in the day, I find if I just put on a track and just improvise against it, I will play what I can play at that time.
Right.
And as I'm getting more loosened up, then I can play more things.
Boy, that's almost like a great sentence for how I think about playing live.
Yeah.
It's more important for me to like respect that I'm on stage and play what I can play
Yeah.
than like just
Blasting.
yeah.
So thus ends part number 1 of this special FAQ series here with my main man, Commander Andy Wood. We generated enough content that this will be a several piece feature, so be sure to stay tuned next week for the next part of this series that we've done here for some more questions and answers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Ben Eller Guitars. Andy, where can they track you down?
I'm on Instagram, Andy Wood Music. On Twitter, A Wood Shreds.
Very good. And I'd like to encourage you people to go out onto your iTunes or your Amazon or your Google and get Andy's new live record,
Yeah.
Live at the Bijou, which you can get in audio or video format. Beautiful, stunning, high-quality video featuring little old me on rhythm guitar and a whole bunch of other incredible players. So be sure to go pick up Andy Wood Live at the Bijou.
Get that thing.
Stay tuned next week for more. Bye, everybody.